Welcome to the Texas High School Football Coaches Show on Lone Star Gridiron. I'm Chris Daly, and it's my belief that the men that make up the fraternity of Texas High School football coaches are much more than a bunch of thick-necked guys with whistles. They do so much more than teach technique and the X's and O's of football. They take young boys and change them into young men of character. They get kids to believe in themselves, to trust others, and to put others ahead of themselves. Texas high school football coaches are unique in how they impact the lives of these athletes as well as the generations those kids touch. In this show, I sit down with a different Texas high school football coach each time and learn about them. Not their record, not their on-field accomplishments, but who they are and what they believe and what it means to be part of the greatest sport in the greatest state. Hey, I want to welcome you out to Season 3, Episode 7 of the Lone Star Gridiron Texas High School Football Coaches Show. Today's guest is Joe Drennon, head coach at Hallsville, Texas. But before we get to him, I want to tell you about a new product that I believe is a game changer for Texas high school football, Helmet Fit. Helmet Fit is a football helmet maintenance system used to reinflate the bladders on football helmets. Here's how it works. The Helmet Fit pump/app measures and records the air pressure at each inflation point so you have a custom fit for each player. Now, coaches can go into the locker room, grab the helmets ahead of time, automatically recapturing their custom fit without the players being there. It's compatible with all Rydell and Should helmet systems. It saves coaches time. It ensures your players are playing with a properly fitted helmet. And it also can detect if you got broken liners so you can quickly replace them. And it keeps a detailed fit log for every time you fit your player's helmet, protecting your player, protecting your organization. Check out helmetfit.com for more information. You can follow them on Twitter at helmetfit. But get this, Lone Star Gridiron's offering a promotion just for our listeners. Use the promo code Lone Star, that's 2 words, Lone Star, and you'll receive a 30% discount on this upcoming season. Again, the promo code is Lone Star, 2 words. To use the promo code, go to helmetfit.com and click the tab Get Helmet Fit on their pricing page and type in the promo code Lone Star when filling out your contact information. You're listening to the LSG Sports Network, the authority on Texas high school football.
Hey, did you play Texas high school football? If you did, you're part of an elite group, the Brotherhood of Texas High School Football. All football players, past and present, who have ever suited up in the Lone Star State are eligible. Go to LoneStarGridiron.com/brotherhood. And thank you for the part you played in the greatest sport in the greatest state.
All right, everybody, join me in welcoming Coach Joe Drennon to the show. Coach, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. I appreciate y'all having me on.
Oh, you bet. As you know, as much as I would love to talk about the 2018 football season, which is kind of early, I know, really this show is about you. So take us back, all the way back to when you first developed a love for football, when you decided you wanted to coach, and then take us stop by stop every position you've had.
I'll tell you what, I'm probably like a lot of other little kids back in the day. Had some older brothers, and when they would take you out in the yard and throw the ball around or play throwback tackle or touch football, whatever we were doing, I fell in love with it at that point in time. And then when I entered into the 7th grade, I got to start playing it for real. Mm-hmm. And, man, I've loved it ever since. Somewhere along between my 7th grade year and throughout my high school career, I knew this was going to be a part of my life. I grew up on a cotton farm in Arkansas, and my dad owned a cotton gin and a couple of stores and things of that nature. And man, I just knew that the one thing he'd let me do is when it come to school stuff, he'd let me, miss those jobs.
Right.
Football was a big part of it, so I was pretty happy when we were out on the football field practicing, because that meant I wasn't having to chop cotton or gin it in a cotton gin. So I was pretty happy with that. But I fell in love with it pretty early in life, and I knew it was going to be a part of my life from that point on.
Nice. So as you graduated from high school, take us through the next steps and when you started working for a living.
I guess I still am.
Right.
But coming out of high school, I thought I was a little bit player in what I probably was. I was wanting bigger school offers and stuff. Ended up, had a few looking at me and things, but ended up not getting the offers I wanted, so I decided I'd go over to Mississippi and play JUCO ball for a year at Holmes Junior College. And got over there and was playing ball and stuff. And back then, junior colleges were a little bit something, they were a little bit tougher than I was, I think. And but I had fun for a year over there playing. Then I transferred back to Arkansas, Monticello, and played over there. And after college and ball and stuff, I worked for a year with Johnny McMurray at Monticello High School. He hired me. We were there. I was there, helped him out as a receiver coach and a defensive end coach. And from there, I moved the next year to, I wanted to get to Texas, to be honest with you. Had a buddy that came to Texas, and Steve Wells, and he's the AD and head coach at Liberty-Eylau right now. But he kind of helped me out, and one of my college coaches helped me out and got me over with David Ream at Liberty-Eylau as a junior high coach. And I was there for 2 years as a junior high coach. And then he moved me up to the varsity level. And I coached for him at that point in time for 7 more years there. And, man, I had a lot of fun. It was a great staff. David was just an awesome AD and head football coach. And but David was about to get ready. We knew we were going to be pretty good in 99. And everybody knew David was probably fixing to leave and stuff. And actually had my soup, and the principal called me in and talked to me about, if he left, that I'd probably be the next guy that they were looking at. And at that time, Barry Norton had taken a job at Texas High. And I decided at that point, well, I needed to go see another program if that was true. And I took a job over with Barry Norton at Texas High in 99. And that tells you how smart I am. Liberty-Eylau won state championship that year. Yeah, there you go. But I was trying to prepare myself in case it did happen. Yeah, that I would be ready for it. I'd see another program, and how Barry was going to get that started over there. And so I did that, and I thought it was a good move either way. I said, if they decide they want somebody else, at least I'm getting other experience. I'm getting ready one day, because I knew I wanted to be an AD. And I told my mom at one point in time, by the time I'm 35, I'd like to be an AD. And that's a little bit big, dreaming big, I guess. But I became one when I was 36 years old. So
nice.
Anyways, I did that for not even a full year at Texas High. I was there till about February, and of course David took the Waxahachie job, and went through the interview process and got the job at Liberty-Eylau. And I stayed there for 4 years as an AD there. Don Rader hired me. He was the superintendent there. Great man that I truly have a lot of love for. He's passed by now, but he is just a great man. But anyways, he had a lot of faith in a guy that really didn't have a whole lot of experience, and he gave it to me, and I had a great time there. It was a lot of fun. But I left there and went to Corsicana, Mildred after 4 years. And I'm tell you what, I've been not a lot of places, but I've been in a few places, and that's one of the funnest places I've ever been. Doug Lane hired me there as superintendent. The teachers, the town, the staff we had there, boy, it was just awesome. We had a lot of fun. Great kids that worked really, really hard. They had never been very successful at all. Hadn't won a district championship in like 60-something years or whatever it was, and we got there and won 2 of them, and it was just the town just kind of went a little bit crazy. It's always fun when you do stuff like that. And we made the playoffs 3 out of the 4 years, so that was a neat deal for us. Steve Wells, my buddy, was at Mineola at the time. Well, anyways, he got offered the Jacksonville job, and he kind of threw my name out there, and I told him I'd kind of like to get back closer to this area. And Mary Lookadoo was the superintendent, and Mary called me in, and we visited with her and Ricky Stevens, the principal, and we sat down and visited for a while, went through an interview process, and anyway, she told me that day, said, well, we'll be calling you back in, a couple of days or whatever, and see how it's going. So I said, okay. Well, I get in my truck and I'm leaving. I'm not even back to Mildred yet, and she calls me. And she said, Coach, can me and you sit down by ourselves tomorrow and talk? And I said, well, yes, ma'am, if that's what you want to do. And anyways, I came back the next day, and we sat down for about an hour or so, and she offered me the job then at Mineola. And I was there for 9 years. And, boy, we did a lot of – it was just that's been the highlight of my career, I guess you'd say, because, like I said, they hadn't won a district championship since I think it was like 1961 or 63, somewhere in that area. When we won it in our third year there, and we went 3 rounds and then made the playoffs, every year but 2, I think, and played in the state championship and got beat in 14 and went 14 and won in 15, and then we turned around and won it in 16. And boy, you talking about a town that exploded. It was that was an awesome deal. Just a lot of good people there, a lot of great kids, and just a lot of good memories. And it's been it was a fun deal. I enjoyed every minute of it, and still got a lot of good friends there, a lot of great players. And anyways, after that year, I just kind of got to, so I'd like to try one more. Tells you how smart I am, I keep wanting to try one more. But Jeff Collum here at Hallsville, he called me one day. I'm in the weight room. He calls me, and we talked for a little while, and then we kind of set up a deal where I'd come up and visit with them, and once again go through the interview process and stuff. And anyways, took the Hallsville job last year, and we're here now trying to get this one going. But it's, man, good kids, great community. Good people to work with. A lot of fun so far.
Nice. So it sounded like you could almost label yourself as a turnaround expert.
Well, that's kind of
walking into those situations.
I don't know about expert at anything, but that's kind of been my deal. I enjoy that part of the game. I really do. And I know that doesn't. Some people like taking jobs where they're already winning and they come in there and they build more of it, and it's just, and I understand that. That's a lot of fun too. I enjoy the process of the off seasons. I enjoy the process of developing kids and seeing them come from not being successful to hopefully being successful, and turning things to where it's just a better place to be. I've always enjoyed that process, and I guess I kind of got that from David Ream because. That's what we did at Liberty-Eylau when he got there. Liberty-Eylau hadn't been in the playoffs in forever and stuff. And in his third year, we won the district and made the playoffs and stuff. And it's just it was a great feeling. And I don't guess I ever forgot that feeling. And I kind of just fell in that mode of not really looking for jobs where they've just been tremendously great, but looking for jobs that were great for my family, a good school district, and they were hungry for success. And, that's kind of been my MO, and it's been good for me so far. Nice. So is there a formula for a turnaround? What are the pieces that are involved? There he is, and we've got one, and I sent it out to my coaches here a while back because we weren't very good this year. We struggled, but we're in that process of trying to get it built. Like I told them, I said, guys, this is not our first rodeo on it, but it's the little things that you do right. It's surrounding yourself with a good staff. It's having support out of your administration. It's having community support, and then it's doing little things and treating kids right, and giving them a program they want to be a part of. And you do that by your coaches being here every day. You do that by your coaches being here after school every day and inviting those kids to the weight rooms and getting to know your kids and supporting your kids, not just in football but in all your sports. And we try to do that. And we get the kids interested in our program. Then we get them in the weight rooms and on the tracks and things of that nature to be, try to start developing a better athlete. And we start doing it at a young age. I mean, we got our PE programs in the 6th grade down there. They're working that stuff with them right now. And we keep the system the same. They use the same lingo we use up here down there. And our kids, by the time they get to us, it's kind of like I tell them if we're running counter. our kids in the 7th and 8th grade, they may miss that block every time for a while. But by the time they're juniors, seniors, they're going to make that block, and that's just kind of how we look at it, and we stick to the plan. We don't deviate from it. We just kind of, grind the course, and hopefully there'll be a big change in 3 years or so.
Nice. A lot of what I've heard from coaches over the years is that, you can take the same kids that are maybe not winning a lot of games and ones that are champions, and the difference is that they believe in themselves, believe
Yes,
they're champions. How do you instill that?
Well, I think that comes from the consistency in your program. I really do. I'm not saying anything bad about before, but like our little 8th grade group we got this year, they didn't win a game last year. They didn't win a game as 7th graders. And we come in, we got our coaches out there. We're coaching them like we would if they were at the high school. And I get my high school coaches, 2 or 3 of those guys go down there and they work with those kids every day because we want them to know us from the beginning. Mm-hmm. And we don't accept anything less than your best every day. Anybody can come out here and make a day. It's, kind of what we tell them. Anybody can come out here and make a day, but it takes a special person to come here and make something of their day. And we want to make sure that we're getting better every day, and we work on that. And it's an attitude, it's a belief, and it's something that you've got to do. And you got to set that tone as a coach, and and you got to let them know that it's not okay to be behind. We got to keep working. We got to fight. We got to find a way to win this thing. And those guys went from that to losing 1 game this year. So in our 9th grade group, hadn't won a game in 2 years is what they tell me. And, not that it was a great stride, but it was a great stride this year. They ended up winning 4 this year. Mm-hmm. And, they were so fired up about, hey, we can win. And I said, yeah, you can. It's just a matter of an attitude, your work ethic, and you're going to get out of it what you put in it. And I don't think it's any secret formula that anybody's got, but I just think it's something that you start working with your kids, you show them you care, you show them that this is important and that they can do these things. And I think kids will do whatever you ask them to do. I really believe that.
Nice. So if you look back at your job as a coach, there's some pieces of it that are make sure, the field gets set up, make sure the weight room's good, make sure the administration's happy, make sure the kids are growing and believing in themselves. What would you say is the most important thing as a coach that you do day in and day out?
And I think the most important thing, I really do, is you and your staff have got to be consistent with what you do every day. Mm-hmm. That kid's got to know when he talks to one coach, he's going to get the same answer he would get when he talks to another coach. He's going to have the same expectations from one coach that he's going to get from the other coach, that you're very consistent in everything that you do each and every day. And then I think that you tell them all the time that you appreciate what they do. It's not an easy sport. Athletics is not easy these days, but athletics to me is more important these days than they've ever been. Back in the day, we all had jobs. Like I said, I grew up on a cotton farm. So I had a job to do the stuff, but nowadays kids don't have that. Kids can't even go out more yard these days because the grown folks have turned it into a business, So the work ethic, how to earn something, things of that nature. I think athletics is the key these days in this society that we live in now, and football especially. Football teaches you stuff that other sports just don't have. The mental, the toughness of it, the physicality of it, the duration of it. It's just a tough sport, and I think it builds great leaders for us in the future.
Definitely. I was in the airport the other day and got to chatting with a guy from Germany, and he discovered I was involved in high school football, and asked me, what is the deal with Texas high school football? Why is it so different? So how would you answer that question?
Well, it gets asked a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's a neat question, and it's and I hope it stays this way forever just in this state, because I absolutely love it, and that's why I wanted to get over here myself. I don't know the exact answer to that, other than I know that we put more importance on it than any other state. Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at how we set up our programs. You look at the number of coaches we have. You look at the facilities that we have. And I think it's more of a tradition for the state of Texas than anybody else. It's a bragging right that we have that, hey, we take a lot of pride in. You know, it's kind of like having just a great team in your school. It's mm-hmm. something that you're good at. And so I think Texas emphasizes it more than any other state. I mean, a lot of states, like, and this is nothing against them, but, you know, they don't even have the athletic periods during the day. Their coaches may not work at the school. They may be working, you know, on their own business somewhere, but come up and coach the kids afterwards. Right. Whereas the state of Texas, you know, we've got our athletic periods. We've got our weight rooms. We've got the facilities that it takes to build great athletes. And man, I think it's just an importance to this state and to the people of this state that we are great at high school football. You know, we played in that state championship last year at Mineola. I can't tell you the number of people that called me or shot me an email or sent me a letter or whatever that knew me from way back when. Mm-hmm. And said, and they're not living in the state of Texas, okay, but they're watching Texas high school football playoff games or state championships on TV. You know, we do it right. I mean, think about it. We go to Jerry World up there, and man, we do it right. It's second to none how we play our state championships. You can't hardly turn on another state and find them how they do that the way we do it. And I just think it's a great demand for it, and I think it's just an expectation that we have in the state of Texas that we're going to be great at high school football.
Definitely, and hopefully the result is, if we do our jobs right, is more than wins in front of 20,000 people. It's strong young men that walk out with all this experience and leadership.
Well, I no doubt. And I think when you watch those games on TV, you watch the young men that did not win the game. You watch the mm-hmm. coaches that did not win the game, because I've been there too. I've been there where we went to it and got beat. And boy, you can see on their faces, you can see in their hearts, and you can see in the community sitting in the bleachers the hurt that is there from all the work that's been put in and stuff that you know, you just didn't get that final game. And it's, but what that does, and man, you hit it head on. That builds probably as much character in a kid as winning that game, mm-hmm. because they're learning. You know, the kids I had, they lost it in 14. And a bunch of them were freshmen and sophomores. Yeah. But they learned so much from that experience that they learned how to come back and fight and build on the next year that, hey, we're going to get back and we're going to win this thing. And they did it. And it's just it just teaches you so much in life lessons, you know, because life's going to kick you in the jaw sometimes. Yeah. And, you know, it really is. I mean, you've been there, I've been there, and, you know, you can either let it kick you and you stay down, or you as I was saying, you can get up and go to work and make something good happen. And that's what football teaches you, and that's what this state teaches you.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, Coach, what goals do you have still forward of you in your career?
Oh man, right now I want this place I'm at, Hallsville. Right now, we're working every day for us to be better. Mm-hmm. I want young men, young women at this school to remember the coaches that we have, and to remember the work that we're putting in, and to remember how much we wanted them to be successful. You know, I've still got some things I want to do in life. I love this sport so much, and I want, whenever I do leave it, I want them to know that I gave everything I had to this sport and to these kids, because kids are why I'm here. I love kids, man. I stood up in a 25-degree soccer game last night to watch our girls play. You know, just because we've got kids out there playing, I want to see them. And there's nothing like, I know a lot of people have said it, I guess, but there really is. There's nothing like working with a kid. Yeah. It really isn't. I mean, God put us on this earth for, you know, we all got a job, and I think mine was to work with kids from day one, because I've always loved being around them, and I've always loved working with them. I love watching them grow.
For sure, definitely. Coach Joe Drennon, I want to thank you so much for spending some time with me this morning and telling a little bit of your story and your beliefs.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you asking me to do this.
You bet. You're listening to the LSG Sports Network, the authority on Texas high school football. Hey, coaches, we want to tell your story as well. So get in touch with us, and we'll schedule a time to record your interview so we can add your history, your insight to what we hope will be an amazing collection of wit and wisdom from Texas high school football coaches.
This show is brought to you by the book, All I Need to Know I Learned from My Texas High School Football Coach. A handbook of wisdom for parents, young people, and yes, even coaches. Head over to www.learnedfromcoach.com and order your copy to support sharing the stories of these great coaches and leaders. That's learnedfromcoach.com.